That's the theme of today's video, and if you've been following the channel, you'll know that Pete has just gotten into his new to him Liquid Logic Remix 47 in his favorite color, lime green. It has been a fantastic boat for him the first couple times out, and his confidence is brimming. And today we're going to try some new things, both here and on the river. And let me start by pointing out that while his roll is coming along, every now and then he'll lift his head like that, and again here on the right. If you ever lift your head, you're just not going to have a good roll experience. And that's the first time he's needed a T-rescue in the practice here for about 60 rolls. So he's really coming along. And today we're going to work on some new things like ear dips and how to work on your paddle dexterity or sculling. And you may be wondering why you would need to do those while out on the river, but it all furthers proper technique and just skills that you'll need when you may not be expecting them. It also helps with the roll. One of the hardest things when learning how to master the roll and the brace is just how to keep your body torqued correctly or in the correct C. As you saw when Petey lifted his head, he could not complete his roll. Now, an ear dip is an exercise where you try to touch your ear to the water without flipping. The secret is to lean towards the water. If you lean away, your boat is much more upside down when you finally get there than if you go ahead and lean into the water. And leaning into the water is also the correct form in bracing and in finishing the roll. So as you see, he's kind of getting a little more comfortable. He's able to try this because he knows he can roll. Here he gets stuck sinking slowly. And that's where I introduce sculling or paddle dexterity, which is the feathering back and forth of your paddle through the water to generate lift and get it out of a stuck place. Slipping your paddle through the water does not necessarily cause lift, but if you angle your blade as you could imagine a helicopter blade moving through the air, that will. And so what I'm asking Pete to do is go ahead and lay his ear on the water and then gently scull the blade back and forth to cause a little bit of lift. And then to sit up out of it, you simply push down and finish a roll. You will know instantly if you have correct technique. Always remember that leaning away from the water will not lift you out of the water, but will guarantee you that you flip, as you see Pete demonstrate here. Yes. But he does have the wherewithal now to reset his paddle and roll up, and that's very encouraging. And now I want to exaggerate it, and you see him using sweep strokes here, and that's sculling in one direction, and he's doing that both on the right and left. And then I need him to come forward with it as he did there. That's a good first try. So he's getting a little confidence. He's introducing his sculls to his ear dips, and he's keeping his body in the correct C, which allows him to stay on the water. And he gets it all together right here. Look at that. Just a touch shaky coming up, but that's fantastic, little man. So you may be asking yourself, aside from practicing in a lake and learning how to do some fundamental exercises, how is this actually going to help me on a river? And that's a good question. The primary purpose will be to relearn the reflex for what happens when you start to tip. It's instinctual to lean away from it and keep your head up. You must dip your head and your body into the lean and drop that paddle down. And here's a clip from our recent Chattooga trip where we unfortunately came into bull sluice blind, and I am not set up to run where I'm at. Realize this about right now. I try to get a little boof launch and straighten out over the hole. And when I land, I have to lean way right to keep from getting flipped, and I basically run the rest of the rapid here, feathering that blade wherever I can find green water, and basically riding that through in an ear dip. And while that's not the preferred line there, any line that gets you down a rapid upright is better than the alternative. And this is where those lines start, here on a lake or wherever you can get a boat in the water and start practicing these fundamental techniques. And here I am with Ryan, and she's moved into Pete's older boat, and we're learning some braces and rolls, just kind of getting the framework for how her body needs to act while she's doing this. And the hip snap is a tough one. Any kid that's 7 years old trying to learn how to roll a kayak is got my respect.
We'll do it. 1, 2, 3. Whoa!
As you see, Pete is really putting in a lot of time and work to get these techniques down, and I'm very proud of him. And all that will pay off shortly as we have some incredible trips we're going to start being able to do here. It's all about what you make out of where you are. Some people spend all their time trying to avoid getting into sticky spots or trying to avoid things that make them uncomfortable, but that's really the only way to grow.
You ready? Here we go. That looked good. Ready to do it again? We're gonna do a roll. Ready? Mark, set, go. Well, you can go. It doesn't matter which way. You'll be in the right way. Oh, so close. You gotta lead to the right, remember. You wanna try again? All right, go ahead. Uh-oh, your paddle's all kinds of weird. Like that. Ready? Here we go. You're getting there. Mark, set, go.
And as Ryan is trying desperately to roll, it's hard for me to get her to focus on the hip snap and what her body should be doing. Part of it's probably because she's just having fun and I'm daddy, and she's kind of halfway listening. But most importantly, she is having fun, and I don't want to lose that aspect of what we're doing. So here I'm kind of teaching her, just let's focus on that hip snap. And as I rotate the paddle out, I'll just want her to hip snap, and you see she's pushing with her arms. Not quite what we're looking for. And I've got an idea up my sleeve that I've never tried before, but if you've got a kid, this seemed to work pretty well. I want her to hip snap. She's just not doing it here. She's trying to use her upper body to get on top of the boat versus bring the boat below her. And just listen how I come up with something here.
You weren't doing it.
No, it's hard in this boat.
No, it's easy. Look at me. You have to curl that hip. Make this hit my belly.
This thing is big and fat and more.
I want you to drive this hip through my belly button. Do it.
But I can't.
Do it right there. Smash it. Ooh, yeah, do it again. Smash it into me. Go. Oh, do it again. Oh, that hurts. Do it again. Oh, do it again. That's gonna be a good one. That's it. Do it again. Ouch. Oh, that's such a good hip snap. All right. Now you ready? We'll try it one more time. Here we go. Let's go. All the way up. All right. Ryan, that was a good one. Did you see how easy you came up? Did you see that?
You helped me.
I didn't help you.
Yeah, you did.
No, I held your paddle. All right, little man is ready. He's gonna try out his new boat. You ready? You excited? And I also have Mike Hatcher and the Wandering Electrician. And on the way is Guy and Evan and maybe a few other folks, but we're not sure. So we're gonna get loaded up and hit the water. Let's see this thing. Look at it. The Remix 47. Oh yeah, you got it all stickered up.
Yep.
You are set.
So we know it paddles good in a lake. Now it's time to find out what it feels like on the river. And you guessed it, we're back here at the Boiling Hole, which has become the unofficial training ground for the River Kings Whitewater chapter. It's just a great place that has a little bit of everything. And the familiarity of it actually lends itself to the learning process. When on a new river, the constant barrage of new situations is a distractant to what you're trying to work on. You're just trying to survive or get through something or take in the sights. Where here you know what the water feels like, you know what things are going to do, and you can work on doing the different things you're trying to implement into your arsenal. And here Evan is trying his new Remix 47 as is Pete, and right there he's listening to rule number 1, lean your boat downstream. And that's a fantastic lean, Evan, with a low brace, and that prevented him from getting flipped by the flush. and that's a big deal. So super proud of Evan. That was an awesome move. Kevin Champ is looking good as usual, and Guy is hitting his lines with confidence. And Mike Hatcher is getting used to his new boat, the Piranha Fusion 10. So here I am in the boiling hole, getting in there, mixing it up, doing hole surfs with a creek boat. There's not a lot you can do, but it's just good practice for staying upright.
All right, let's... Nice. Very nice.
And today in kayaking, Mike Hatcher sets a new world record. 0.86 seconds for fastest skirted wet exit. Let's take another look at that. The build-in was immaculate. This reverse stroke on the left side was the key to setting it up. He bled the speed off, then transitioned into the upstream backstroke, which initiated the flip right there. The reach for the rock he knows is there, so that when he goes under, he's got the rock, and out of the boat he comes. Simply magical. An advantage to going back to the same river to practice is that the river becomes a constant rather than a variable. If you're not familiar with the rapids or the river you're on, it's a different experience than when you know what to expect, and it allows you to try new things or to try the same old things and do them even better. You shouldn't be happy with just getting down a run and surviving. If you know the river, if you know the rapids, you should strive to style those rapids, to conquer them, to master them. Whatever your mind is, you should be very, very comfortable being there before you feel the need to just move on. It was told to me once that it's up to you to get the most out of the river you're on. If you're on a Class 2 river, try doing Class 3 moves. If you're on a Class 3 river, do the Class 4 moves. When you're on a Class 4 river, do the Class 5 moves. So that when you go to the Class 5 river, you can do the Class 3 moves and get down that thing safely. Same concept here. Don't match the river, try to outclass the river. And here you see little man attacking the same line that gave him all the trouble last week, and he came to conquer that with his new boat.
Go straight, yes! Keep going, keep going! Clean left! Woo! Yes, sir, Pedro!
One thing that you have to have is the willingness to go for it. And Guy, as you see him get sucked into the hole sideways again, Guy certainly has the willingness to keep going for it. Unfortunately, he did not adhere to rule number 1, which is never enter a hole sideways. And he did not perform rule number 1, which is always lean downstream in heavy current. And he had an unfortunate swim, but I'm sure he'll be back. Mike Hatcher accidentally gets sucked into the boof slot move, and he maintains his composure and success.
You look so comfortable. Hey, you gave up your boat angle and fell into the hole, but what did you do? Went straight through the hole, over the rock, left land at the bottom, basically smoked that line. That felt good, didn't it? Oh man, so with this guy, I just missed it. He tripped over the rock and landed on the airbag, saved his life. With the boat in his lap, it was amazing. Mike had an interesting couple runs. The gorilla hole is what we call that one. I don't know if it has a name. We used to call it the gorilla hole. Didn't work out for you.
No, it didn't work out.
He went sideways through that.
Yeah, I didn't line up.
Yeah, and then, but then he went through the boost slot.
On purpose.
Kind of like a cat running across a freeway is what it looked like. But he made it. He made it. But we were just, Kevin, what were you just pointing out to me? He made an astute observation.
There seems to be an issue with everything that's not liquid logic, because for some reason ours hold the water out.
Yeah, all the liquid logics are dry on the inside right now. And the dagger and the piranha seem to be like a lot wetter on the inside. I'm not sure what's causing that, but
Mine's sandy on the inside.
it's sandy and dusty. Actually, it was like, I need some moisturizer on my legs because it's drying my skin out in there. But all right, I'm here with world famous Dean Harrell. And he's been a subscriber for a while. I enjoy him in all the chats and all the comments, but it's nice to meet a face. He kind of saw it. We're gonna be up here. Came up to join us, and he just carried my boat, or Pete's boat. So I really appreciate that. But then I picked up, what did you just say?
I told Kevin I was going to help him, but Chapin told me don't ever help Kevin do anything.
That's right, because he's got
he stole
Chapin's
his
boat. Evan, talk to me. How was the first run in the new boat?
Good.
Tell me the differences you felt between that and
I
your...
felt the difference is that I was not getting caught in holes, and the difference is that the boat, it like nosedives a lot.
The other one?
Yeah.
The wave sport nosedives?
Yeah.
And this one kind of lands the booth better?
Yeah.
Yes. Pete, difference between that and your sidekick?
More maneuverable.
More maneuverable?
Easier to roll.
I noticed you did the exact same line that ate you alive last week,
Yeah.
and you're still a dry hair day.
Not really, because I had to roll before it, maybe.
No, I mean I'm talking about running the river. So you saw you were coming into the hole, what'd you do?
Angle.
You straightened out, and then you went straight over the pillow rock, and then you lean left through the rest of the run. Beast mode, man.
Pete is really starting to drive his kayak. As you can see, he busts through the current and drills that booth. He's also throwing a paddle in the air here to signify the rapid is clear. Just becoming confident and competent on the river. That was an amazing flare booth from Kevin. That's really coming together for him. Guy's been putting in a lot of work to hit these lines, and Evan is just rocking that new boat. It really suits him. And Michael Hatcher is spending a lot less time underwater as well. It seems like he and his new Piranha Fusion are getting along quite well. And sticking on the theme of trying new things, as we make our way down the river here, we're going to shoot for the slot booth. And this can be a tricky little spot, and it's very different at each water level. And I went way too far right on the ramp, is what we call it, the little entrance hole. It's no big deal, not too pushy. Kevin basically follows my lead, ends up a little too far right, but does well. And here goes Pedro. Drops the bottom off of that line. I could not be a prouder dad.
What a pro!
Evan wasn't feeling super comfortable today for trying the slot booth, so he's going to ferry across the bottom of that first ledge and enter the S-turn for a straight shot through there. It seems to be his favorite line there, and he does very well getting across there and coming down through the rapid. The little rippers in these little boats are just shredding the river, looking fantastic. And here we are doing that silly booth again over the hole at the boiling hole. You've probably seen us do it 100 times if you follow the channel, but there is a real hole there that can suck you in, and I want the guys to be comfortable with boofing over a hole with consequences. And here you see Guy mixing it up, going down what we call the Girl Scout line on the far right. And Mike comes in between the booth and the hole, lands in the seam, and pulls it out. This time we're going to shoot for the traditional S-turn line. Pete takes off and starts paddling. I was telling him not that far, and you'll see him look back and say, "I got this, Dad." What he's doing is he's seen his own line, and you can see it from his perspective there, and he goes for it, and I really like that. He's carving out his own lines and making it happen. thing you can do here at the boiling hole is get in that hole itself and mix it up. A lot of people will surf right in the outflow, but it's fun to get right down in that hole for a good old little hole surf. It's not too crazy, but it's just rowdy enough where it'll expand your skills there for being stuck in a hole and working your way out. And that'll happen from time to time. You just kind of accept it and roll on up and jump in again. And then we go for slop booth take number 2. He didn't clean it as well this time, but pushed up against the rock, he handled himself well.
So that's the day. Dean hung out for the whole time, helping us tote boats and stuff, so really appreciative. And Kevin had another dry hair day, except for when he was trying to roll. Is that
Trying.
right? Like on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trying. No,
like-
they were rolled.
Yeah, they were rolls, but you were trying to
Yes.
initiate. It wasn't accidental. Did you learn anything today, Dean?
I learned a lot.
Good. At everyone else's expense.
Yes.
Best way to learn. Watch everyone
Hey.
else get dunked.
That's why I watch you guys' videos.
That's right.
It's to learn
That's right.
without having to make those mistakes.
I guess there's only 2 here.
Ooh, look at that. Oh, I'll take a couple of those.
Yeah.
Winner's cookies.
I'm gonna donate mine to P5.
Have a good one, Dean. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Good people. Well, I'm sure we'll be on the river together soon.
Sounds great. Look
Right on.
forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Look at him. Look at him walking away a winner.
Yeah,
Tell me about the new boat. How was the first day?
I like it.
Was it the best ever?
Yeah.
Right on. So I'm taking that boat home with me today. And I got a couple different friends. Whitewater Gypsy and Kyle are donating a couple parts, so I'll be able to retrofit a real bulkhead in yours like I did Petey's, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll be really set. He kind of did a homemade foam job that worked for today,
Yeah.
but we'll get him set up.
Yeah.
Good paddling with you again, bud.
Thanks.
We'll see you. As always, Guy, enjoyed it.
Sir, good time.
Have a good one. Let me know when you get home.
Okay, look up.
So thanks for watching. I hope you learned some today, and I would encourage you to go back to your local spots and mix it up, try some new things, and make sure you've gotten all you can get out of that spot before feeling the need to move on to the next one. See you next time.